All right. Hey y'all. Um I'm I still have a little bit of the sinus and allergy stuff going on, but I really just wanted to talk about this and show you guys this to really show and drive home for the people that have been following me for a while just how sick the media truly is. Okay, this is why it's so important for me, even with my little 8,000 subscribers. um this is what I talk about, but these people are truly sick. Like, I don't know any other way to describe it. But anyway, beyond that, we will jump right into this. So basically, y'all already know, I'm sure you've been flooded with videos of Nipsey Hussle, okay, the rapper that was recently murdered. Okay, everybody's been talking about it. It's been everywhere. Well, what does NBC decide to do? They decide to come out with an article basically linking this man's death to toxic masculinity and homophobia. Let me show y'all that. All right. This is from NBC News, okay? It says Nipsey Hussle's murder, homophobia, and the toxic black masculinity that fuels it. I'm tired of Black death, but I'm equally tired of those attempting to hold on to ideas that have been proven to cause so much pain and fear. All right, so this was written on yesterday. Nothing in the Black community happens in a silo, and thus, when tragedy inevitably strikes, it is often seized upon as an opportunity to engage with larger, more uncomfortable questions. It's not surprising that the murder of rapper Nipsey Hussle on March 31st has sparked a series of conversations about gun violence, homophobia, and how we mourn a complicated Black life. First of all, okay, where are these conversations about homophobia as relates to this man death? I have not seen not one, okay, until now with this article. Let's go on. Lost in these conversations, though, is an equally important discussion about Black masculinity, who it is afforded to, and who ends up dying when we tie toxic ideals to Black manhood. We've seen the glorification of gang culture and how it intersects Black masculinity. We have seen it portrayed in movies like Boys in the Hood and expressed in songs like the NWA classic F the Police. Black Americans are justifiably tired of the oppressive systems that police America. Nipsey's story is no different than many we have seen. A young man from the hood tries to have a positive impact, but his legacy is complicated by his unwillingness to give up the homophobia and misogyny that continue to hold so many of us back. I've seen absolutely nobody talking about the homophobia and misogyny making his legacy a complicated one. Absolutely no one. This is not to say that people can't evolve. Jay-Z's past is littered with examples of misogynist and homophobic lyrics, and yet last week he was publicly lauded by GLAAD as an LGBTQ ally. Growth is good, but we also must remember that the timeline is different for the actual targets of hate. People are dying while others are asking for time to grow. What the heck that has to do with Nipsey when Nipsey asked for time to grow, I have no clue. The LGBT community is all too familiar with the violent side of Black masculinity. In 2016, a Black man was sentenced to 40 years in jail for pouring boiling water on a sleeping gay couple. Again, have no idea what this has to do with Nipsey Hussle. Meanwhile, violence against the transgender community appears to be increasing, with many of the crimes involving Black or brown female victims and Black male attackers. The words of those who are seen as leaders trickle down, and just like that, someone's thoughts become someone else's actions. The past 12 months have provided numerous examples of fragility of Black masculinity, from famous Black men calling Terry Crews weak for not fighting back against his sexual assaulter. Okay, but y'all didn't mention the toxic femininity that called him out for saying that Black boys need fathers. But anyway, to Kevin Hart's old homophobic jokes surfacing before the Oscars, which he apologized about several times, to the death of 2 Black men at the apartment of prominent Democratic donor Ed Book. The dots connect. Okay. And running through each incident is an undercurrent of homophobia, which of course is also rooted in misogyny. Now we're talking about Black toxic masculinity, and somehow you tie this to white Democratic donor Ed Book, but we'll talk about that more. Terry Crews alleges he was sexually assaulted by a man who doesn't identify as gay. Yet other men, like actor D.L. Hughley and rapper 50 Cent, question if Crews maybe wanted the incident to happen because he didn't react in a violent way. Kevin Hart's old tweets joking about the violence he would commit if he ever had a gay son tied into the same notions. Hart apologized and claims he was only kidding, but Wendell Melton wasn't. Melton murdered his gay Black son, Giovanni Melton, in 2017. Allegedly, he would rather have had a dead son than a gay son. Again, I have absolutely no clue what the heck this has to do with Nipsey Hussle. The issue here is that Black gay men still aren't seen as equals. Too often their Blackness is reduced because of their sexuality. Nipsey Hussle, who again worked hard to reinvest in South Central Los Angeles, was himself very concerned with the imagery of Black men, as he should be, and appeared worried that queer people were attempting to execute a mysterious and negative agenda. Such language is often used to criticize LGBTQ people for being too openly proud of their sexual orientation, or even worse, for allegedly influencing others to live openly gay as well. Nipsey was fine with gay people existing, just not joyously or in public. Meanwhile, 2 Black gay men have fatally overdosed at Ed Book's home over the past 2 years. Where is the widespread outrage from the Black community? Where are the marches and protests? Could the lackluster response be related to an unspoken feeling that men like that deserve what they have coming? See, this is disgusting, y'all. This is absolutely disgusting. I just talked about Ed Book, I think maybe a week, maybe at the most 2 weeks ago, okay? I discussed this situation with Ed Book. Ed Book, in fact, is still being talked about in the media. But what happens is oftentimes you have other stories that will bury these stories because Ed Book is not as widely known. Not to mention, I've said this several times, in the big scheme of things, oftentimes Black American culture, we are the quickest to watch YouTube, get on Twitter, make things trending. We are very connected. We want to be in the know. R. Kelly and Nipsey Hussle are way more interesting than a freaking Ed Book. They're way more known than an Ed Book. So this also feeds into the media frenzy that we have behind people like R. Kelly and Nipsey Hussle, okay? Also, I've often said with this whole Ed Book thing, not only were there marches and protests against Ed Book, So this article is completely misleading. Okay. But Ed Buck, just like a lot of these black celebrities, entertainers, i.e. Jussie Smollett, who are wealthy, well connected, okay, who are in a higher class of society compared to middle class black Americans, they are able to get away with things that the average American that is poor, middle class cannot get away with. Queer men and heterosexual men often talk at each other and about each other, but rarely with each other. Although many of us navigate the same spaces, it is apparently never the right time for this particular conversation. This is why so many of us air our grievances in the aftermath of tragedy. I grew up in a black family. We heard the stories of my uncles running the streets and getting into shootouts. I grew up in a black community where friends of mine joined gangs and used dominance and violence to earn the neighborhood's respect. Social media has made a way of making people seem disconnected when realistically we are all products of our environment and our experiences. Colonized to hate and separate based on the ideas of white supremacy, with manhood and masculinity determined by dangerous principles that most often leave black folk dead or wounded, both emotionally and physically. But the truth is, toxic black masculinity kills. Rumors have circulated in the past few days that Nipsey Hussle was murdered by a man who felt disrespected in a rapper's clothing store following a personal dispute. Masculinity didn't protect him, and now he's dead. Well, I'm tired of Black death, and I'm tired of so many members of our community, my community, attempting to hold on to ideas that have proven to cause so much pain and fear. This is like, I'm at loss for words, okay? This man died. This man died in cold blood. Body isn't even cold yet. Body isn't even in the ground yet. And you are already using this man to trigger some type of additional, contrived, manipulated story to. Absolutely nobody is having conversations about the impact of homophobia on Nipsey Hussle's legacy. Nobody. And this is what we mean, okay? So my LGBTQ family, friends, this is exactly what we mean when we talk about agendas from the media. This is exactly what we mean. This is a completely contrived story to create and sow discord, to obtain power and to control, to try to steer and change a narrative. Do the black community need to have a conversation about ego and pride and jealousy that goes on in the black community? Of course. Absolutely. But to try to tarnish this man's reputation, to tarnish this man's legacy, and to tie it to incidents that have absolutely nothing to do with him is sick. It's manipulative, it's cunning, and it's wrong. And this is what I talk about from the media. These people are demented. And it's important that I don't care whatever group, subgroup you're in, whatever title that you hold, it's important for us to see these things and call them out. LGBTQ people should not be used as pawns to steer narratives and to change discussions from what they should really be about. Okay? This is what my platform is about. Talking about how disgusting the media is. Okay? This is coming from a Black woman who my platform is about challenging these narratives and calling the media out when they do this bull crap. As a Black woman who cares about issues that affect Black women, I also refuse to be used for narratives and agendas because they do it with me as well. They say Black women are mad about this. We do care about this. We don't care about this. We have to stop letting these people steer the conversations and create these narratives for us. For power, control, confusion, agendas. It's time out for that. And if this is not as clear as day, like, I don't know when people will get it. These people literally contrived a whole different narrative. It is real out here, y'all. So if they will do this, just imagine. This is not rare. The media does this all the time. And this is why it's important for us to support independent media, because if not, they will steal the conversations and turn them into something totally different, have us running in circles and thinking things and planting seeds in our mind that never existed in the first place. Those are my thoughts. Y'all leave y'all thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.